Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about LifeSite News and what prompted you to advocate for the lives of the unborn?
Great to be here, Marjorie. Thank you for having me on. Yes, I mean, really, LifeSite News sort of came right out of the March for Life, which is very interesting. We are, Steve Jelsovac and I, the co-founders of LifeSite way back in 1997 now. We've been part of the pro-life movement for a long time, even at that point, and we were doing in Canada a copy of the March for Life from the United States since about 1997. But we were noticing as we were going down to the States every year for the March for Life, they're incredible march, so enthusiastic, so encouraging for everyone, and yet it's not reported anywhere in the media. And so we decided that we really need to get the voice of the pro-life news out so that people actually know that it's for real. There's no, when you see 200, 300,000 people marching in the streets and there's no coverage of it on the news, that's impossible. So we had to do something.
Absolutely. Wow. Yes, absolutely. It is kind of a bummer that we won't be able to march in person this year, but I am really excited that we can still march virtually. And it sounds like you have had a lot of experience with the March for Life and just in the pro-life movement in general. So today at ProLifeCon, we've been touching some on the topic of censorship because that has become such an issue in recent weeks, as there have been many instances of conservative voices being silenced. So I was recently listening to one of your podcast episodes, actually, where you were sharing about LifeSite News and how you all have been experiencing some censorship and deplatforming lately. Would you mind sharing with us some of those challenges and what that has looked like for you all?
Yes, sure. I mean, we are currently deplatformed, or at least suspended on YouTube and on Twitter. We're actually suspended on YouTube for 2 weeks because of a video I did related to aborted fetal cells used in vaccines. And we're suspended from Twitter on both our accounts for actually calling a biological male a man, despite the fact that that biological male is a male and pretending to be a female that was appointed to Biden's administration. We're also facing censorship on all platforms. Currently on Facebook, most of our articles are being marked as false information or partly false information. Our reach, by the way, there is also dropping off massively. Before the November election, our reach actually decreased to almost nothing. Google is censoring us as well, with our referrals dropping by more than half from last year. And so we've also, and now my favorite is this one. We have been removed on our social media sharing platforms. So first of all, we were with a company called Buffer for about 4 years, and they just dropped us as violating their terms of service all of a sudden just now. We then went to another platform where we were with for 2 days, and then they dumped us, and we went to a third, and they wouldn't even let us on. So we're actually having to do a lot here to move most of our social media platforms to Telegram, to Gab, to prep our email marketing, servers, donation platforms, all to a plan B and plan C in case we're deplatformed there as well.
No kidding. You all are obviously no strangers to censorship, and it sounds like you have faced quite a few challenges lately. So yeah, that is crazy. And I know that our viewers are listening. A lot of them are digital activists, and they love to share about pro-life content on their social media platforms. So I'm sure that is not an encouragement to hear that there's so much censorship happening. Would you be able to share what keeps you motivated to keep going despite the strong pushback that you've experienced?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're there to promote life. And as they say, all it takes for evil to thrive is for good men to do nothing. And so we're not going to do nothing. And most of the pro-life movement has been here for the last 40, 50 years of seeing this tremendous evil of the slaughter of innocent children in their mother's wombs in America to the tune of 62 million people. And we've seen this kind of censorship before. We've seen this oppression. But we're always going to be there to be the voices for the children, to be the voices and the comfort to the mums who were distorted in their thinking by the authorities, by the health authorities, to think this is a good and wonderful thing for them. And we're going to be there for them nonetheless. Because as I've said personally to pro-abortion activists outside of conferences, that child in your womb is my brother and sister, and I'm willing to sacrifice for that child, and in fact for you as well. And so I remember being asked this one time, oh yeah, would you be willing to take the shirt off your back right now so that I could afford my unborn baby? And that was like, what a question. Of course, because that child is my brother and sister, and so are you. And so it's always been a movement of love, and out of that love, we are ready to sacrifice ourselves to not only save life, but it's also saved the souls of these people who we want destined for heaven.
Well, John Henry, it sounds like you obviously believe very strongly in the work that LifeSite is doing. How have you seen your work make a difference in the lives of others?
Well, we are read by a lot of people right now. Back in 2019 already, we had 102 million page views. And despite all the massive censorship, we also had over 100 million page views in 2020. And our YouTube channel grew massively. We had, when we were deplatformed, or at least suspended for now, 308,000 subscribers to our main YouTube page. And we've moved to Rumble and things like that, at least for video, to keep going. But what we've seen and has been most encouraging has been those conversion stories. Very often we get these notes from people to say that, they were unsure of a certain thing on life or family or faith or culture. And they basically came to the light, and it's thanks to what we've done. And we don't take the credit for ourselves. Our Lord asks that people be his hands and his feet, that we do and teach the truths that he offers. And so we're very, very happy to hear those conversion stories. And really, that's the most motivating factor there is.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us, John Henry. It has been a pleasure. Before we close, would you please let our viewers know how they can connect with you and connect with LifeSite News?
Absolutely. Well, with all the deplatforming, there's only one place to go. It's lifesitenews.com. Please make sure you go to the top right-hand side of the page and hit the subscribe button there, because that will keep you informed of wherever we have to release our stories and videos and our podcasts, because we might be deplatformed from who knows where. So go direct to lifesitenews.com and you'll always see us there.
Wonderful. Lifesitenews.com. Thanks again, John Henry.
Thank you, Marjorie, and God bless you.